Hi, in this video we're going to look at parallel and perpendicular lines. Two lines that are parallel on the Cartesian coordinate plane have the same slope. And the reason is because they have the same rise over run ratio. So their change in y is the same as their change in x for both slopes. When you have perpendicular lines, they meet at a right angle. One way to recognize perpendicular lines is if you multiply their slopes together, they are equal to -1, which means that the slope of the one line is perpendicular to the slope of the other line if the slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. So for example, if I had a slope of one line, its parallel would be -3/2 from 2/3. Or if you had 1, you would have -1. If you had 2, then you would have -1/2. Now this is with the notable exception of horizontal and vertical lines. Slope of a horizontal line is 0. The slope of a vertical line is undefined. So we don't know what that is because we can't take the reciprocal of 0. When you're working with problems with parallel and perpendicular lines, you want to start with the point slope formula. And we call it the point slope formula because you need two things to make it work. You need a point, call it x1, y1, and you need a slope. So let's take an example here. We want to find a line parallel to the equation 3x plus 2y equals 8, and we want to go through the point 2, 3. So the first thing we have to do is figure out, well, what is the slope? So we take this equation here, and we want to solve it for y, so we can get it into y equals mx plus b form because we're getting this value right here for m. So here we go. We're going to subtract 3x from both sides. So we're going to get 2y equals -3x plus 8. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide everything by 2. And that's going to give me y is equal to -3/2 x plus 4. All I really care about is the slope. So now I'm going to go back to my point slope formula to generate the equation of the line. I'm going to go y minus, I'm going to use this value of 3 right here, and that's equal to, parallel is -3/2, and I'm going to get x minus 2. And then I'm going to multiply this out. I'm going to get -3/2 x plus 3. If I do -3/2 times -2, that's going to give me +3. And then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I'm going to get y is equal to -3/2 x plus 6. It's going to be perpendicular to this line right here. Again, I want to find the slope first. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to solve it for y to put it into y equals mx plus b form so that I can get that slope. Subtracting 2x from both sides, I'm going to get 5y is equal to -2x plus 10. Now I'm going to divide everything by 5. And I'm going to get y is equal to -2/5 x plus 2. Great. So now I have my slope and I have my point. So I'm going to use my point slope formula. I'm going to generate the equation of a line. Get y minus 2, and that's coming from this 2 up here. And that's equal to, and now I want the negative reciprocal of this. And that's going to be 5/2. I'm going to flip it over and change the sign. I'm going to have x minus the x value here of 5. Great. Now I'm just going to multiply it out. I'm going to get 5/2 x minus 25/2. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So that's going to be 4/2 over here and 2. So I'm going to get y is equal to 5/2 x minus 21/2.